So we're going to look at three categories of sports science strategies today. First is going to be game day strategies. Then we're going to look at fueling strategies, our nutrition. And third and finally, we're going to look at injury proofing ourselves to make sure we're available at the key pivotal moments. First up, game day strategies, because we want to win game day. And we're going to do this by preparing and recovering like a pro. So we're going to look at what we should be doing before first. So this is a quick video from Christian Petrarca. He's an AFL player in Australia, and he gives us really good insight into what current elite athletes are doing in the day before and the day of games. So let's have a watch.
Day in the life of a professional athlete. I woke up early, had a coffee, and then caught a flight to Adelaide for the Sir Doug Nicholls round against Port. We checked into the hotel at around 2 and then headed to training. To get our legs moving, we played down ball. Everyone takes it really seriously and it gets really competitive. I'm bloody filthy here because my ball gets called out when it was clearly in. After that, we did some recovery, which involved pool mobility, hot colds, and a massage. The night before a game, the boys like to have a high-carb and protein dinner. I chilled out for the rest of the night and went to bed pretty early. The next morning was game day, so I headed into town for a walk with a few of the boys to stretch my legs. In the afternoon, I made a blueberry and banana smoothie, and then we headed to the stadium. I like to warm up with TheraBands before the game. I love playing against Port. The atmosphere is always incredible, but unfortunately they were too good that night.
That gives us a really good indication of what current athletes are doing. Now, how many of those strategies, skills, techniques are you using? Let's have a bit of an in-depth look at what they were doing. So we want to start up with the warm-up. The goals of a warm-up are to reduce our injury risk, to mimic the movements of the game, and to improve performance. So picture the triangle. Keep that in your mind, and we're going to think about what that actually represents. When we're going to warm up like a pro, we want to start with some movement, get the blood flowing, get the temperature of the body increased, and get ourselves moving. We also want to think about increasing our range of movement, not static stretching. We want to be doing dynamic stretching or things like foam rolling. We want to activate muscles. This is the most forgotten part of any warm-up that I've seen. Now, we can do this like we saw Christian doing with band work, really effective. We can think about plyometrics and body weight exercises as well. And another important part is we want to finish at game intensity. Our skills, drills, sprints, whatever we're doing in our warm-up, we want to make sure that matches the game intensity. If we go back to our triangle here, our pyramid, we can think about it in terms of intensity. Top of the pyramid is game intensity, ready to jump on that park, that pitch, that court, whatever it is, and perform at our absolute best. So we want to start low intensity, number one, get moving. We want to start increasing the intensity with our dynamic stretching movements. We want to start activating muscles, a bit more explosive, and then we want to get our game intensity happening. Now, question, what's the biggest muscle in the body? The answer is your glutes. Now, a lot of people forget this. If you're warming up, you want to make sure you warm up the biggest muscle of your body. Now, here's an example of using TheraBands or stretchy bands to help do this.
Always incorporate a dynamic warm-up at the start of your session. Don't just think of it as a way to reduce injury, but actually treat it as a part of your sessions, and you're going to get tons more out of your drills. Then I always go into a little bit of activation, just using this resistance band. I go through each of these movements around 10 repetitions or so, making sure everything is activated and ready to go, especially those hard to activate areas like the groins and glutes and hip flexors. These are really going to help you fire those up. Again, just like with the dynamic warm-up, it's going to help you perform better and also reduce the risk of injury.
So I think a stretchy band is key for any young athlete. This is a really good way to activate those muscles, specifically the big glutes, helping give us that power, activate that power for when we get into our sport. And these are really affordable as well, maybe $10, $15. Highly recommended. So they're the kind of things we want to be thinking about before our game, preparing like a pro. Now, what are we going to do during our game? Usually most sports have a halftime break. Some have a couple of other breaks in between. We're going to focus on intra-game strategies. We want to focus on energy boost, rehydration, and rest. So here's what you should be doing. Carry a sports drink. Really important. This is much more effective than just water because it includes sugar, electrolytes, and it assists in rehydration. We're going to look more at sports drinks later. We want to rest and recover. For example, soccer players will be running around for 45 minutes, so it's important that we give ourselves that 10-15 minutes to rest. Just sit, be still, recover. Another thing we might want to do for our mindset, our psychology, is set goals for the rest of the game. For example, if you're playing netball, you might want to think about, okay, I'm going to have 3 successful passes, or I'm going to get 2 successful intercepts. So set little goals for the rest of your game. And finally, we want to recover like a pro. Recovery is one of the most important things that is again forgotten by a lot of young athletes. Regarding nutrition, we want to rehydrate, we want to replenish what we've lost, and we want to recover. Now, to do this, blood flow is really important. I'd suggest going for a cool down at around 40% of your max heart rate. So this could be a light jog for 5 minutes. This just helps a slow transition. If we think back to our pyramid, we don't want to just stop exercise. We want to slowly come back down to rest. So a cool down helps to do this. Like we mentioned before, compression gear, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that that is really good for recovery, again, assisting in blood flow. So get them on as soon as you can. Cold water, again, really popular at the moment. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that it helps with the recovery process. But the most important thing is sleep. You need to sleep to recover at your best. It's really good to think of your body like a battery, as we can see in the bottom right there. When we've finished our game, we're going to be in the negative or the red one. Now we want to slowly build back up so we've got a full battery ready to go for our next training session or game. There's some tools that can help us with this. The Athlete's Performance Journal is something that was developed by a professional athlete for athletes. This type of journal gives us a heap of useful tools that can help us improve our performance both before and after our game. Before, we can set some goals, we can check in, see how our sleep and our mood was, and then after, we can rate our first touch, our dribbling, our mentality, whatever it was. We can make some notes, we can add some goals to improve, and we can do a reflection on how we perform during that game or training. This is a key thing that elite athletes are doing, and again, if you want to be the best, do what the best do. That's how we win game day, before, during, and after.